We're live. Welcome to Talking Hawks. Yes, we are. Welcome to 2025. We're off with a bang, the Hawks. I'm Matt. I've got Lauren here tonight. How are you, Loz?
Yes, very good. It's been, great way to start the season. A lot better than last year, that's for sure. I didn't think we'd get it done, but the boys proved me wrong, that's for sure.
It was impressive to kick us off. So welcome to you. Welcome, Hawks fans, for joining us. We will revel in this little glorious first up victory because it's a really tidy way to start the season. I consider myself a little bit of an optimistic realist, and I was like, it could go either way, this one. But I got on a plane, got up there with Chris. I was up in the nosebleeds, but the SCG's not as quite as big as the MCG. So we had a glorious view, and took it all in. It was fantastic to see. Look, there was quite a bit of brown and gold there, but gee, the Sydney crowd, they're loud. They are loud, and there was a lot of red and white. I did try on the way in. They've got a DJ, getting the vibe up. So we're going up, and I just thought I'd sneak over to him, even though it was a Sydney Swans sort of set up, and no one could listen. The speakers were blaring. I said, look, mate, if I swing you $100, are you any chance of playing the Hawthorn theme song to kick us off? I just wanted to see what the reaction might be, but he stuck to his job. So anyway. All right, Hawks fans, we're going to jump into this game, but let us know. Well, we'll cover the game first, and then we'll get to talking through some of the players. It's always interesting when a new season starts, that first month of things getting bedded down, a few new players. But let's talk the game initially. Loz, do you want to kick us off with any thoughts? We've clearly come in wet conditions to finish the game. I think we played pretty solidly, but 11 goals, 10 to 14 goals, 12, and we've gone up by 20 points, 96 to 76. It was pretty good kicking, despite the weather.
Yeah, for sure. I thought when it first started raining in that third quarter, we couldn't adjust to it as quickly as we'd like, but it was good that 3-quarter time break was coming in because they obviously, reshuffled and settled back in. And then, it just prevailed in the end. I thought you could really tell by the reaction in the coach's box at the end of the night how happy they were to get that win, and, what a relief it was. I mean, it's hard. It was hard last year starting 0-5, and to get this one nice and early, we're not going to be back there again. So, I think Mitchell, a lot like us as fans, maybe didn't really know which way this game was going. We saw the practice matches. Most of us probably didn't love what we saw. Maybe a few things we liked, but we probably wanted to see a bit more. So we go, how are we going to show up to this Sydney game up, at the SCG, what ended up being the opening round of the AFL this year. But we put on an absolute show. And I thought, the game as a whole, regardless of just Hawthorn, was a great one to watch for sure. And I think, it's putting those people that want to see the fall of Hawthorn again, shutting them right up pretty quickly, which is good.
Totally. Well, I had looked it up. We hadn't won at the SCG since 2021. We don't necessarily play the ground, perhaps the greatest, or over the journey. It's been a challenge for us at times. Let's say getting up there, but we've changed all that. So, couple of observations. Inside 50s, 58 Hawthorn to 40 from the Swans. So with the disposal count actually being so close, it's good to see where we're getting it in there. And I guess the opposition we were giving the Swannies, at times I felt, especially in the first one, they've got a few cheeky ones that were just, they're talented boys. Some of those Swannies, they'll kick them from here, there and everywhere. But it was disappointing because we looked like we were on top early. But it does show how dominant we were through those passages. It's, despite it being close, getting 80 more inside 50s sets you up for success. So inside 50 marks then as a result, Hawks 12 to Sydney 5. So promising, despite the forwards probably being the area on the ground where we need the most work.
Yeah, absolutely. I went into this game reasonably concerned. Just for that forward line, we know the smalls can go well, but I didn't know whether the singular tall in Chol was going to work. But what ended up happening a few of the smalls besides Dylan Moore had some down games. But you know who stood up were the midfielders, and you know Amon off halfback, Meek kick too. So we weren't just generating scores from our forwards. Everyone was getting involved, which is good, and hopefully something we can see a lot more this year. But I think in terms of speaking of the midfield, like their dominance was, I think, a bit unprecedented. Like we know they have a good midfield, and that Goulden was out, and he's a key part of that. But I just thought the way, you know, I'm seeing a lot of comments about Will Day, and we'll get to them very, very soon. But his game, I think a lot of them, even Newcomb, who I don't think was a star on ground, but just worked really hard. Nash as well, and I think Mackenzie, who started a little bit slow, but when Warps went down, he did stand up, which was good to see as well.
Yeah. Even Grundy Meek, that battle was interesting because you know Grundy, I think it was 10 hitouts, but Meek was getting hands on the ball. He was influencing the game more. Stoppage stats, though, Sydney hitouts 41 to 33 clearances with the Hawks. Stoppage stats, Hawks hitouts 33 to our 47 clearances. So those boys did well to get their hands on the ball. Quick question though on the pressure. Here's a nice little one for the fans. So keep an eye out for me in the comments, and then give me your guess, Lauren. So pressuring, it was a part of the game. Who outside the Hawthorn midfielders was next up on the pressure axe? So put in your comments. But we had Jai with 25. I'll let you think while I'll talk through this. Mackenzie 23, Day 21, Nash and Meek on 20. Don't you love that, Hawks fans? And then who? So thinking time. I will give Meek a little bit of love as well. I did love his little pirouette to dodge a tackle.
Oh, yeah.
He bought some dancing shoes at the season. Evaded a tackler, handball, kept it inside 50, went back out. Then Mass gave him a searing left foot back to Meekie down his throat and kicked the goal. But pressure. Who we got? What's the guesses there? Pressure acts.
I think someone said Sicily. I reckon my guess is going to be maybe a half forward that didn't have the best game. So I'm thinking maybe C-Mac or Guinea, one of them. Am I close?
Well, come on, get the spinners out. Which one? Who are you going?
I'll say C-Mac because I've got his chase down of Blakey in my mind.
Yeah, battles, I guess. It's actually Guinea.
It was.
I liked it. Wow. It was a good guess because I thought he was he was trying to influence a lot in the first half. You know, at the end of the game, I probably thought, oh, geez, Guinea and Wiz. But you know, going back, watching it again, it's just like, yeah, he was up and about. So those pressure acts, it does the 1%ers. It might not be all of the stuff that's flashy and you know, like John Newcomb. You know, he's just getting it done. So we've all got different roles, but nice little stat, I thought. So well done, Guinea.
Yeah, I think Guinea was one who...
Midfielders, you've gone through it, but the goals, Daisy 3, Meek 2, Nashi, Newcomb 1. So 7 of the 14 goals were midfielders. Very impressive.
Yeah, that's hopefully something they can keep up. I know Daisy's been talking a lot about in preseason how he wants to hit the scoreboard more, and we obviously saw that happen on Friday nights. So, and it's also good to see that we just keep resting them forward. I don't know how much that changes now that Warple's out. We don't know how long he'll be out for, but you'd think it'd be at least a couple of weeks. So will they be resting a Day and Newcomb down there as much anymore? I'm not sure, but hopefully we still get to see it. I mean, as someone said before, probably Ward for Warple this week. That's what should be the pretty straightforward swap, I think. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they really want Newcomb and Day in there more than they did last game, just because they do have the more experience than someone like a Ward or Mackenzie. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Something we want to see from the mids though this year. That's really what makes a midfield so dominant, their ability to hit the scoreboard.
Absolutely. I would love to see a lot more of that. Glenn has got absolutely cool the night so far. Yes, thank you. C-Mac, the lizard catcher. So I don't know if it's that little horsey tail that just makes him run fast, but mate, we'll pay that. Not many people catch the lizard. So That was good. Hey, there was a really good write-up by Matt Union, so newer to the Talking Hawks team, so you might have caught him so far a little bit. He's writing a few articles, but he did a great piece post-game. So check that out on talkinghawks.com if you haven't already. What else did you like, guys? Let's get into perhaps a few players then. Should we talk about the TB and the JB? Tommy Barrass, Joshy Battle. Oh, I think we've lost Loz. I will talk about Tommy and Josh. I think it was just an absolutely seamless transition. Here we go. Hopefully Loz is back with us shortly. It was, I think, quite seamless from those two. Just got you. I'm on to Tommy and Barrass and Joshy Battle. I think it was a seamless transition with their back line. Yes, Amati kicked a few, but he looked like he's just born for the Hawks, for the brown and gold. Barrass, who's just owning it. I think someone might have touched on it. It did remind you very much of a Lake, just slotting right in, punching, marking, just probably a little bit calmer than Lake, though. I'll give him that. So, we won't necessarily need a Hodgie barking orders. It looks like he was very comfortable back there, having good look.
Yeah, I think I heard in one of the post-match player interviews, I actually can't remember who it was, but they said, maybe it was Sis, but talking about how it's still not 100% gelled. But when we, as a fan, you watch it and you go, it looks like it is. So the fact that there's more improvement to come from there is something that should excite for sure. I thought Barrass, despite, not having... he's not going to be the type that's going to have 20 disposals, but he's going to impact when needed. And he was taking those intercept marks when we needed it, and being quite a reliable kick. I thought Battle maybe was a little bit. He definitely showed some good things, but maybe nerves got a better of him in a few moments. But especially giving away like a silly free kick at one point. But you know what? I thought, I think what Craig said. Battle is elite by foot. I saw that at training over pre-season. Like, he's such a great kick, which is fits perfectly into the back line full of great kicks.
Well, not many people or teams hold Papley to one goal. So
no, his work on his one-on-one work. Like, when I first saw that matchup, I was like, oh, is that the best option for Papley? But I thought, he did a great job on him, who's a really dangerous small forward.
Well, Papley, just when he got that goal, he was just going 100 miles an hour, and Battle was on his tail. But anyway, good players usually do good things. So, but welcome to the TB and JB act. It looks like we're going to enjoy a lot of those boys. Who else have we got, Loz? Or what's coming up with the fans there? Lizard versus the Wizard, says Obal. Maybe next time.
We've got Scrimmer's a good shout. I thought he had a really good game. I wonder if, we'll see more games like this from him now that he doesn't necessarily have to worry too much about playing one-on-one against one of their tall forwards like he did last year. So we'll see more of him, kicking up the ground, which will be good to see, because I think, he is a great kick. And we saw a couple of amazing kicks, as we've talked about before, the Massimo one to Miki, and then the Scrimmer one to Mackenzie in the middle of the ground. Some great kicks, which is a shock because in the Doggies game, practice game, where our kicking was shocking. So I wasn't too worried, because I know that can improve, and we saw that the other night. But it's great that we can have that, basically 1 week turnaround by foot.
I'd say as well for Scrim, it's an option when you want to keep perhaps the competition guessing. If you throw Sicily down forward, 1 week, you can actually throw Scrim up, who's a great mark and a good kick as well. I think he'll give us both of them flexibility. So it's the same with Dimmer, Hardwick. Look, low on the disposal count, but we didn't get exposed. Both him and Sicily forward, which is probably, I guess I hoped for it. It was a relief seeing it though, because it was just, you did feel very solid, like just watching, from above the ground at the ground. It was, you just saw the setup, and it was it just filled me with confidence for the season, knowing that there's still some, I think maybe what Sam said it was clunky Sicily it was, in post-game interview, a bit clunky at times. Geez, we can't wait to see it well-oiled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I think talking about, maybe we should have the conversation, Matt. What's your opinion on where Sicily should be playing at the moment? Because I think I've got a pretty strong one, but I'd love to hear what you think.
I've always, and most of the Talking Hawks crew have I've got their back up a little when I said I love him forward. But I'm actually probably now starting to change my tune. I actually like to try and keep the competition guessing. I wouldn't mind seeing him be a swing man. I don't even mind seeing Sis in the middle. Wherever they want to play him, I'm just really comfy that he's probably going to make a difference. And as he down back, now that you've got some other height, depends on the matchups. I think he can be a great asset, multiple parts of the ground. So I'm really, really not fast. But if I had to choose, I would say I'd like to see him forward a little bit more than back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. I think my opinion has kind of strongly been down back, especially with the introduction of Barras and Battle, because I think he's so important when he plays that loose role. But I do like the idea of swinging him forward in a last quarter in a close game, or if he's getting tagged like he was by Hayward on Friday night. So I think just because I don't know how well he would go if he started forward and had one of the best defenders on him the entire game. I think Hardwick, we've kind of seen. I didn't think he looked too amazing in that forward line last night. He got to some balls, but couldn't really clunk a mark or get around to any ground balls. But I think when you start them forward, they get the better defender, and it's not a surprise. So it makes it a lot trickier to have the impact he does compared to when you swing him, mid-quarter or after three-quarter time, which we saw in the other night. So, yeah, I think he does love playing down back. I mean, why wouldn't you? He's a great kick. He's a great intercept mark, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it'll be interesting what they do with him. But the fact that we have so much flexibility, especially with him and, Weddle and Battle and Hardwick and, the list goes on. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the team looks like week to week. And Frosty's one that, an interesting one, because does he play? Does he not play? How does he affect? If we put Frosty in that back line, we start looking a little bit too tall for my liking. So I don't know, what they're going to do with him as well. Obviously, he had a stellar season last year. He probably deserves a spot in the side. But it's just hard to fit at the moment, which is a good problem, of course.
Yeah, it's Chris raised this one. Often it's like saying who is subs. It's often like mids, forwards can be subs, and they give you that extra run. Having Frosty as a defender is an interesting call, but it says something about who he is and what he can do. There's a bit of flexibility, I guess, we've got defensively now of what we can do. He can play a bit smaller because he is fast. So it's fascinating to see. Look, you've got Gunners in the box. I don't know if Brucey was. I don't think I saw him in the box, but
he was playing a Box Hill practice match that night or the night before. Yeah. Yeah.
So, with some, I guess, mature heads in those three, it'll be interesting to see how many games they're getting and perhaps the combinations that you, when you see Frosty playing down back, who's with him.
Yeah, I think it was an interesting call to make him sub, and we kind of ended up in the worst case scenario with a midfielder going down, probably the only position that we couldn't reshuffle to fill up. But I think they, let C-Mac run through there a lot more than he was doing in the first half as well, which he did look pretty good towards the end of the game. So I think it's an interesting one. I wonder if they keep running with that or that's just was for this week. But something to watch for sure.
Well, the forward mix, even just thinking about Weddle, like down forward initially, not necessarily having a huge impact down there. Just the options now, the flexibility to play someone that can really be a really great target aerially. I was getting a little bit frustrated watching Chol, almost hitting the rafters and, just putting one hand on it. So oh, come on. Just and in the wet, and that's probably where you think, great, Wizzle's going to have a blinder because it's, the ball's going to go over. It's going to skid on. Here we go. Anyway, learnings all around. It was a good call, just went by. Thanks, Brent. Absolutely love that. Nash just does his job, doesn't he? He rarely knows his colours. He's going to put a good body on, and a lot of people throughout the game, and he's going to create some space. And he's just that. The last couple of years, a lot smarter with how he uses the ball when he gets it to, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does just such an important job every week, and goes underrated, I think, with what he does defensively in that midfield, because while the others are great, midfielders and can attack beautifully, maybe defensively they're just not as strong straight off the mark, but Nash is one that can get in there, drag anyone down in a tackle, etc. So yeah, I love seeing him in there, and he seems to be like our mainstay in there, while the other guys may rest forward. He's just the one that's, whenever he's on, he's in there ready to go.
Yeah, totally. I might briefly interrupt, just talking Hawks content, but please, if you're on YouTube, we'd love you to like and subscribe, join the conversation. We've got a lot goes on through the articles and whatnot through the Talking Hawks website, but this will be where most of the live stream stuff will continue to remain, because Facebook, we'll have it up for a little bit. We won't always go live on X or Twitter, but anyway, YouTube is the place to be. So sometimes they'll be unannounced and we'll jump on like this. So let's crack on. I was thinking, the defense on just at the ground, seeing this, and I don't know how much people observed it at television, but it's common that you'd see the Hawks in one half of the ground when we're trying to lock it into our forward 50. We went really deep, and there was occasions, where Frosty was like 10 meters off our forward 50 mark as the last man standing, and like that's really compressed in. But I was like, I thought about it, like, it's a small ground. It's super smart because we're trying to congest it so much that we're going to have it in there. There wasn't too many fast breaks, out as well. So I'm not saying that that's going to be a winning formula every week, but it was just really compressed compared to perhaps what I've noticed is more common as well through 2024. But here we are, 2025. But I'll be interested to watch these little wrinkles, little tweaks and changes to structure and how we do things and what works, perhaps with a little bit personnel oriented, but everyone getting a little bit better too and learning the game plan or evolving the game plan. So I think that's why you saw Sam really celebrate as well. Just that it was an important one, wasn't it? So
I think he didn't really know what was going to come, whether the pressure was going to be there, whether they were ready for the task. And obviously, thankfully they were, which was really good. And I think hopefully, this is to get the ball rolling. We don't have to, if we had have lost that game, then you slowly start creeping into your head, okay, are we as good as last year? Are we going to be able to back it up? But just getting that, right off, ticking that first win off, just, takes a little bit of relief off the shoulders, I'm sure.
Yeah. There's been some good comments, and sorry we're not getting to them all. I'm just going to flash a few up, and we won't necessarily go back and talk about all of these, but we're just recognising your good observations, fans. We are up there with you, I think. Yeah, Mass. That's a response to Con, clearly. Was he excellent? I don't know if he was excellent this game. He was good.
I think he was probably pretty dominant as a winger on the ground compared to the other wingers. But maybe he was still just slowly getting back into it. But I thought he was good for what role he needed to do. He didn't, no knocks on his game, just would maybe like to see him get involved a bit more. But I do think the best part about that win is that, yes, we had some great performances, but we also had some guys that really stood out for us in 2024 that didn't show up as much. As obviously we've talked about Guinea, we've talked about Watson, C-Mac. He got that lucky goal late and slotted it, which is all you need, but just didn't get involved as much. Weddle also had a quiet one, but it's good to know that even you don't need the entire team to be playing at their best to get a win. You can have a few guys having their off days, and you can still get the job done, which is really good. So there's another level to go there for sure.
Yeah, spot on. I had that as a talking point. So yeah, you've stolen my thunder. I thought it was a good point actually. I was going to make it myself. Yeah, so it is signs, good signs. Yeah, a few comments here. Possibly see Henry Husway come in. It might be Wardy. You'd probably think.
I think it's Wardy's to lose at this point. I think he'll get first crack. If it is a longer term injury for Warple, which we hope it's not, but he might find another way to get a go in there if Wardy's not up to performance, or maybe C-Max having a few down games, something like that. But yeah, it'll be interesting because I would like to, he's been around for a while and he's still signed on till 2026. So he's going to still be here for a bit, but we need to, probably need to start getting some games into him because he does look a talent. There's something there with Huswaite for sure.
There totally is. And I can't wait till he cracks in and holds his own. It just, look, you've got, I think Maxi Ramsden's put on 15 kilos over the off-season. Some of these young boys, the work that they'll do, getting a few more pre-seasons under the belt, you will see them. I think when they get the opportunity, they're going to have to take it with both hands and go their hardest. So good pressure. But yeah, Henry's great talent. So one we haven't mentioned yet, Carl Amon. Mr.
Yeah, that goal.
Jeez, that goal, amazing. But like the guy just is constantly getting 500, 600, pushing 700 meters gained.
Yeah.
He does a lot of work for us, a lot of good work. Well done, Carl.
Yeah. He's just one that I think Cicely talked about him knowing his role just in and out, like the best guy in the team that knows exactly what he has to do every single week. And he shows that. And yeah, man, that goal, I didn't think he had it in him, but he just kept running and slotted it, which was really nice. I thought a couple of times he had a few heat checks where he just went to have a shot on goal and maybe he could have passed it off. Yeah. But I guess if you're kicking an amazing one like that early in the game, maybe you can't blame him.
I think that first one, Jai got an intercept, and I didn't mind it. He had a head of steam up. He hit the post on that first shot. But it's good to see. I think the other one, the live wire. So if we go from Mr. 600 to 20 and 2, as Daz used to say in totally gone blank. What's his name? Dylan Moore. Maury. Yeah. 2 goals in the first quarter. We are live. Yeah. Maury just, when we weren't quite getting it done in that first quarter, and then they were getting them, with very little effort. We needed that. He gave us a good lift. So probably a little bit quieter by his standards. He still kept competing, but Maury's got definitely a lot more in him. Compared to, we look at the body of work over the last few seasons. So more upside there.
Yeah, I wonder if he's one to maybe get a bit more midfield time when Warple's out, because he does look nice when they go in there. So that would be interesting. Also, something to just get his hands on the ball as well, because sometimes it can be a quiet day if you're just sitting down the forward line if it's not getting in there. But yeah, he took advantage of playing on a younger guy pattern. Or a more experienced guy, should I say. So in that first quarter, which was good to see, you need to do that. If you're one of those senior blokes, all Australians, if you're playing someone that's not up to scratch, you should be taking advantage of that for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. I think a couple of questions. I haven't, Noah, there's no news on Warps that I'm aware of. Did you catch the Box Hill stuff, Loz?
The only thing I saw was that they had a practice match.
Yep.
Against the Borough, but I don't know exactly what I think they won, but I don't know exactly the stats of everyone in the end.
Yes. I didn't come in with that either today. Question here from Cody and around CJ or Fabio. Is he fit? Is he a chance over Ward?
I wouldn't think a chance over Ward just because we need another midfielder and CJ is not a midfielder. But it's interesting. I mean, I don't think he really fits in this back line right now. Could he go to the wing for sure? But yeah, it'll be interesting. I think maybe he gets some time at Box Hill just to get back into it a little bit. Couldn't play the practice game, so probably needs a bit of match fitness before he comes up to AFL level.
I think the link up, everyone sees the potential, Yara. We will see, but for your name's sake, it probably will be Joshua Ward that we get in. Yeah, okay. Bombers. Oh, geez. Here we go. So thank you, Shane. I don't mind hearing Mr. Scaife. Keep bringing it.
Yep.
Well, thinking of the West from Scaife, geez, how's the news coming out of the West? A little bit of attention.
Yes, I did hear about that.
I think could this be Ruffy? I think Ruff was brought in to do some amazing work on the recruitment and
I heard he's getting bonuses. If he signs someone big. So hopefully, love to get him. I know it sounds like Brisbane's in the front runner for it at the moment, or for Oscar Allen, if no one knows what we're talking about. Oscar Allen, sounds like there is some interest for Hawthorn there. So yeah, would love to get him down here, but we'll wait and see. Let Sam Mitchell work his magic.
Yep. TB and JB. Ruffy's definitely got a few feathers in the cap already. So keep putting the offers or the bonuses on the table for Ruff, please. Very good. I think. Question from Craig. Thoughts on Morrison?
Yeah, I thought he's just another one that gets his job done week to week. Didn't stand out to me in either way. Didn't have a horrible game, didn't have an amazing game. I think he just did what he needed to do. He's one that's just always going to be, I think, on that fringe. Hasn't cemented that spot yet, but he's reliable. They know what they're going to get when they pick Harry. But if they were to swap him out for someone like CJ, I could maybe see that happening. But yeah, it'll be an interesting one. But I do like what Harry brings to the team. But yeah, it's just one that you don't know where they're going to go with him. Is he going to be in? Is he going to be out? Sometimes he gets dropped for performances that you think are fine. So it's hard to know.
Yeah, I see it pretty much the way you do there. I think you've summed it up well, and he knows his role. He doesn't try and do the stuff that's crazy outside of his role because it's not going to probably give him a shot at playing the next week. So I think he comes in and does it well. There we go. Look, it could be Harley. Maybe. I just have to go there. Let's see. Well, it did know a fella. For us, it was maybe a little bit influential over there in the Eagles. Maybe it's going to help. They might need a lifeline back to Victoria. Some of these boys, we've got a good place to come. Dingley's getting it all set for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Was one question back here as well. We'll throw it to you all for any other questions. Hey, follow us on the socials, whatever you're on. We are going to be sponsoring Jai Newcomb again this year, so just DM us if you want to get involved. We've had a good support over the years, so we're just getting that all sorted. If you want to be a financial contributor to the club through Talking Hawks, it would be great. It's good to keep following Jai Newcomb's journey as a play sponsor, so we would love your help. Onto the okay. Right, we'll go into the Bombers really quickly and then we might wrap. Question was, do we think we'll see Gunston come in to take on the Bombers?
Good question. I like Gunston in the side. I know he, one of the more senior players and can sometimes come in and out of games. They've subbed him off a few times, but I think his presence up forward is really good, and I think he's not lost his ability to lead up at the ball. So that's been his main trait for a long time, and he can still do that. So I wouldn't mind seeing him in there. He could also do a somewhat defensive job on someone like Ridley, who can be pretty effective for them if he gets on a roll. But yeah, what do you think, Matt? Do you think we should get this done, right? Really? If we're the team we think we are, we're getting this done, and we're getting it done by 30 points.
We'll just have a quick chat, and I think we'll wrap it with that question because that's bang on. Someone talking about Ward needs to stop an Essendon midfielder. Yep, good call, Nick. I think that's most likely the assignment. It's where Wardy he's not in the guts, can he contribute in the other positions for mine?
Yeah.
That's what we need to see out of him.
Yeah.
And then it's going to do himself a favour as far as holding his spot. Any other questions around or thoughts, comments on the game versus the Bombers? Kind of handy that they didn't get to play, I suppose. Match fitness. There's a bit of pickle juice, a bit of stretching going on towards the end there for us, but it's normal. Who have we got? Any questions?
Yeah, it's interesting whether the fact that we've played a game will be good for us and will not be rusty, or will be sore and maybe to take a while to get back into it after a hard fought game, or whether Dons will come in and they'll be the rusty team. So it'll be interesting to see how that works, because they were meant to obviously play last week, and it would have been good to see them playing Gold Coast in what would have been wet conditions. Would have been a tough game as well, but you can only play who's in front of you. So we'll see how it goes. But as Chris has just said here, 90,000 crowd. Wowza. Is that what they're predicting? Far out.
It's a Friday night game. The first Melbourne, absolutely. We've got 70,000 plus members. They will be a solid brown and gold march to the G. I wouldn't expect too much off 90. All right. So I'm calling 84,000 at least.
Wow. Yep.
No, we're up. We're not Norton 5 to start the season. We've just come off.
No, I think
They play the last game, of our 2024 season. Tell me we're not winning that. And then we're into a grand final, and we just beat the grand final this week. There should be some genuine excitement to watch the Hawks on our home deck.
Yeah, no, I think that's an interesting point, Matt. We can't know now, but we can only try again this year. So, yeah, I think really should be getting this one done, especially after we know how well we went against Sydney now. So Bombers always start well, though. They always start well, and they've got the best of us for the last couple of years. And, besides last year where it was, say, 20 points, but other times it's been a pretty decent margin. So hopefully, that gets them pretty hungry to, get a win over them. Know that they're the enemies kind of the past now, but there's still got to be a bit of hunger inside them. And I know there is for Mitchell, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think, it gets passed on to a degree. But, regardless of the old enemy, and the fans love it, I think it's going to be a really it wouldn't surprise me as far, but it's going to be an intense match. I think interesting here, Seamus, perhaps the speed is a factor here. Chris and I were talking about it. I didn't watch it, but there was a preseason game. Chris said they were moving the ball a lot faster, the Bombers, which could make it interesting for us. So if you've got a hard week, maybe it is the time where you throw him down back, because you need just the smarts and the speed. And we will see. What else have we got in the comments here? People, Chris likes a bit of Bruce and Gunston in and out. Got to earn your spot. All right, there's a bit of optimism there with beating the Bombers, although, yes, to your point, they have come out strong at the start of the season.
Yeah,
I don't mind this one, Craig. A little bit of a early crow. Would love to see the Wiz. Wouldn't that be a very loud affair? If you want to bring your earplugs, if you go to the game, if Wiz gets 5, you're going to need them.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if there will be any jobs from the Essendon. Durham in the past has tagged. They tagged Sicily last year with Guelphy, but Guelphy won't be playing. So I wonder if they do anything like that. That'll be interesting. But I liked how, Will Day, he's got to start learning to get through these tags. The last few times he's been tagged, they've kind of got the best of him pretty quickly. I know he did kind of fight back in that last quarter to get a few important touches, but just something he needs to probably start working on now that he's really rising into that upper echelon of AFL players where he will be looked to be targeted each week. So hopefully that's something he can now work on as well, to just try and fight through those tags.
I think our wingers as well, the same, like with Mass having a breakout season last year, there will be that extra attention on some of those boys. Carl's, both of those two turned up well. So it'll be interesting to watch how different teams try to prevent Hockball, because they've had an off season to sort of analyse us and whatnot. What do you think of this call by Fabio?
Yeah, I think so. I would think so. Depends. I know Brass likes to sit deep. So if that's what Caddy is doing, while Langford maybe runs up the ground, I don't know who they're going to have sitting deep. They might just swap around between him and Langford. But yeah, I mean, I think Battle is really good one-on-one with someone even a bit taller than him or a bit smaller than him. So yeah, I think that's probably the matchup. But yeah, Caddy and Kako, those are some exciting players that we don't want them to have their day out against us, like we have had with some, other young kids that have come up against us and, done some amazing things.
Yeah. Whoops. Sorry, Meek and Draper. That will be an important matchup. Draper's had some good games against the Hawks, so let's. Look, Meek's in good form too. If Draper is, game on. I think Draper's probably that little bit more athletic, but Meeky keeps on keeping on, and he's not taking a backward step. So maybe he goes to another level this year, Meeky. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a few comments coming in about how there's no 2-meter Peter, and Chris reminding us how a few times he's kicked a couple against us and looked at, amazing. So yeah, unfortunately, I think he went down with an injury at training the other day. Some Bombers supporters saying that maybe he wouldn't have gotten a game anyway, but at least he can't, kick 5 on us again, because even if he's not, an amazing player, he just seems to get up against us. And those big hands were a bit scary, but hopefully, with a big tall back line now, someone like that wouldn't challenge us as much.
I think you saw Sicily coming back a couple of times helping out, but not an overemphasis, and this wasn't needed every single time. So, we'll see. All right. Well, we could continue to talk with you all, Hawks fans, but we will wrap it up. I'm going to give Tom this because I just like being a little bit cheeky sometimes. Probably. Yeah. Let's hope Sam's got his humble, trying to hide a smile face in the presser at the end of the game, because he's delighted that we're 2-0. And well, enjoy. We are on top of the ladder, aren't we? Oh no, there was
AWS are now.
Anyway, that's very, very true. You don't mind seeing the pies go down like that, but Hawks fans, thanks for joining us. Loz, you definitely have brought it once again. Thank you. We will enjoy many of these chats through the season, I'm sure.
Yeah, good to have you back, Matt. We haven't seen you too much this pre-season. You've been working hard and behind the scenes, so it's good to have you back front-facing again.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed it. All right. Well, no, Yara Ward gets the last call. Flagcock, we will leave it on that, and enjoy your night, enjoy the week, and make sure I'm right. Make sure there's at least 86,000 there at the ground this week, please.
Yeah, should be a good night.
We will leave it there, Hawks fans. Enjoy your evening. Take care. Bye.